What's happening, people? Welcome back to the Crafty Couple on Cockney Red 99 here, looking through the head at the Premier League this weekend. I am joined by the finest thing to come out of Clonmel since Una Heaney. I've said it once, I've said it before. Mr. Keane Franey. Keane, how are you getting on?
I'm very good, Owen. Thanks very much for having me on, pal. Do you know, it's great to be back on the Crafty Couple. And, do you know, as I said, Clonmel Champagne makes a return to the show.
The Clonmel Champagne connoisseurs, as he shall now be known. And along with us as well, finest thing to come out of Canada since Michael Bubble, Tim Stockton himself, Niagara Red, the man down there. Tim, how are you getting on?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Not drinking right now because I got to go pick up Keane and Vieira in half an hour. But yeah, I'll be tipping it tonight. Don't worry.
Tim, I've no doubt about that. Before we get into the fixtures, a big loss today in the Man United and just football community in general. Nobby Stiles passed away today. Very sad. Won the European Cup with United in '68. World Cup winner with England in '66. Terrible loss to the world. Battle with prostate cancer and dementia. Very, very sad loss. But, you know, he's in a better place now, and that's all we can hope for. And hopefully his family are okay, and wish, you know, my condolences with his family and all of his loved ones. Sure. But moving on from that now, lads, looking at the fixtures this week, the way that fixtures line up, you've got, you know, everything spread out. There's nothing at the same time anymore. We've got the game tonight, which is Wolves Palace, which is on BT Sport box office, which you have to pay £15 despite having a subscription because, you know, the Premier League and Sky and BT are extremely greedy bastards. That's just the way life is, it seems. Wolves Palace. Keane, what are your thoughts on this game?
Well, to be fair, it's a tale kind of two teams. Like, you have Wolves who were under Nuno Espirito Santo. They're a good side. They have very good players. So like Ruben Neves, Joao Moutinho, Nelson Semedo. So they do have a good couple of players who can break a team down. Whereas you have Crystal Palace, who are predominantly a team who play under Roy Hodgson, who do play the low block, and they do have the likes of Ayew and Zaha. So the way I see that game panning out is Wolves having the majority of the ball, trying to break him down, trying to pump that ball into Raul Jimenez onto his head, see if they can break down a chance. But again, like, Palace will just try to sit back, stoke up the pressure, and ultimately then try to get up to, like, say, Wilfried Zaha and try to make something happen out of nothing. Like, as you've seen against United, that's what they're good at. They're a very good counter-attacking team.
Yeah, Wolves Palace definitely are a great attacking side with the likes of Batshuayi, Abiri Eze, they've just signed from QPR, Zaha, great attacking options. Tim, what are you thinking about the game?
Yeah, same thing. I mean, obviously we saw Wolves last year, and you know the problems that they would give to United when seemed to be our bogey team. So
we played them every week by the looks of it. I think we played them about 8 times in 2 years. Jesus,
Lordy. But yeah, I mean, Keane touched on it with the way Palace they want to counterattack, bit of pace up front. You know, Jordan Ayew, again, another player for them that when he gets going, bit of a problem. So. Yeah, I think it's gonna be good. I think it'll be a good game, but yeah, I kind of see Wolves pulling this one out.
Yeah, narrow victory, do you think, or do you think they'll walk all over them?
I don't think who knows. Like, this year in the league, I mean, you look at some of the games and some of the results, and you're just like, oh my goodness. But yeah, I think it'll be narrow.
Yeah,
narrow result. We'll go 2-1 maybe.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm in agreement with yourself there, Tim. I think 2-1 to Wolves. I think they'll get it. I think they just have enough quality in their side to just get the victory. Moving on to Saturday, the 12:30, Sheffield United versus Man City. Sheffield United have had a terrible start to the season, really. They just don't seem to be hitting the form that they were last year. Big fan of them. They brought in Ethan Ampadu. He's looked quite well despite their poor form at the moment. Tim, what are you thinking of this? Do you think City can, start to gain a bit of momentum now, or do you think Sheffield might pull something out of the bag?
No, I mean, it's hard to go against City in this game for me. I mean, Chris Wilder sets the team up well, but at the end of the day, I think there's just too much quality regards to City. So
walk over for City, another 6 or 7-0 Guardiola.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but you would think that it's going to be fairly comfortable for them.
Yeah. Keane, what are you thinking, mate?
I think maybe a 3-1 Manchester City. Again, like, look, they have too much quality to come past Chris Wilder's team. I think Sheffield United are getting a kind of dose of second season syndrome. So they got a big bounce last season. I think the lockdown happened at such a bad time for them. With Sheffield United, like, I think if that lockdown didn't happen, they probably would have finished in Europa League place last season. That lockdown happened, and then all that momentum that they were riding on at that time just it completely diminished. And now you're seeing the consequences of it now. Like, they lost Dean Henderson, who was a fantastic goalkeeper for them last year, and they just don't seem to be hitting the heights that they're hitting. And again, look, I'm going to go with a 3-1 simply because I think Sheffield United will probably score. David McGoldrick will probably score if he's playing, and those City will be complaining about their defenders again and probably splash out a whole other country on a set of defenders again.
I mean, that is the way. I think they've spent more than the majority of most countries' GDP throughout the world. I'm gonna buck the trend. I'm gonna say a draw. I'm gonna say my main man from Kerry, John Egan, is gonna come up and get an 89th minute equalising header, and I'm gonna be going spare around the living room at 12:30. But moving on to the next game, not particularly exciting. It's at Turf Moor. I don't think many games there are that exciting. Burnley, Chelsea. Keane, what are your thoughts on it? I mean, I'm not particularly excited. I'm not going to be paying the BT Sport £15 to watch it.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to go Chelsea win. Werner to score. Yeah. Lampard, English media's darling, Frank Lampard gets another win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tim, what are you thinking? Same along the same lines?
Yeah, along the same lines, mate. Too much quality again for Chelsea. Attacking options. Yeah, I'm gonna go comfort. I would say I'm gonna go 3-0.
3-0, yeah. I mean, I'm along the same lines of that. Burnley have only picked up 1 point this season.
Yeah.
It looks like that their luck might finally be out in the Premier League, and we sad to see him go because it is a great away day, Turf Moor. Proper old school ground, but it looks like their luck has finally run out. They've only picked up 1 point this year, and yeah, I can't see it ending well for them. The biggest game on Saturday up next then is definitely Liverpool versus West Ham. Liverpool obviously have had bits of shaky starts. Fabinho and Van Dijk being injured now. Massive losses to them at in the centre half position. Can they fill that void with what they have in the squad? That is the real question. Tim, do you think West Ham could pull off something at Anfield? Do you think the likes of Jarabona and Antonio could tear up that defence?
I do. I think I think that Liverpool now carrying these injuries, I think it's been a bit of you see the reaction, not just with the supporters, but it just seems like it's rattled them a bit. So I think, or I'm hoping at least that West Ham can go there and cause them problems. So I'm gonna say a 2-2 in that game.
2-2.
Yeah.
Entertaining game at the 5:30 on Saturday. Hopefully you're right. Keane, mate, what are you thinking?
Well, I know all these Liverpool fans are going to come at me after this prediction. I'm going to go with a 2-1 West Ham win.
Yes, Keane.
Woo!
2-1 West Ham win. Jordan Henderson's actually supposed to be out as well. So, again, he filled in as a deputy centre-back the other night as well. So, I'm going 2-1 West Ham. Mikel Antonio, masterclass. David Moyes, football genius, reigns supreme again.
Yeah, I mean, David Moyes, I mean, he does owe us a favour at this stage. Hopefully he could do something. I mean, I was actually, a mate of mine's a West Ham fan. I was actually at this fixture last season at Anfield in the away end with the West Ham supporters. They nearly won. They actually lost 3-2 narrowly.
Yeah.
I think West Ham have been playing very well. And Antonio, I think, is criminally underrated. The way he's been playing at the start of this year, he's been unbelievable. So I am also going to say, I'm going to be in agreement with Keane. I'm going to say 2-1 West Ham. And hopefully we've got a few Scousers just crying around the place. That'd be brilliant. Moving on to Sunday, which is jam-packed with fixtures, with another box office of £15 because, they don't make enough money. Villa Southampton at 12 o'clock.
Tasty.
I mean, it's a tasty game. Southampton beating Everton last weekend. Villa very unlucky against Leeds. The 3-0 scoreline didn't do them justice. They were very good throughout the first half. Should have probably been in front going in at half time. Tim, what are you thinking for this game? Do you think Hassan Hoodle can do a job on Dean Smith or what?
I got Southampton in this game, guys.
You've got Hassan Hoodle to do a job, yeah?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Saints, and I don't know, they looked pretty pretty good last week, I thought. So I think they came with a result in that game, like you touched on, Owen. But yeah, I'm gonna go Southampton. I say 2-1.
Mm-hmm. Keane, what's your thinking?
I'm going to go 2-2. I'm going to go to draw. Two very good sides, and both actually very underrated. I know I hate the man, but Jack Grealish is just fantastic footballer. I know, I hate the man.
Yeah, he's a traitor. Don't worry, we don't even need to go into it. He's a traitor.
We won't go into it. He's a traitor, but fantastic footballer. And
it's going to be tight for sure.
It's going to be tight. It's going to be a close game, but I'm going to go to 2-2 just so I just want to see goals.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, completely. I like the idea of that. To be fair, I think Southampton will do it. I just think Danny Ings is just.
Yeah.
He seems like a man possessed since the start of last season. Since he signed for Southampton, I think that's his sort of level, being that creme de la creme striker at a sort of a mid-table sort of a club.
Ward-Prowse looked good last week too.
Ward-Prowse, I think he's sort of fallen into that Højbjerg role, and I think he's filling that void very well at the moment. I think, and his set pieces are brilliant as well. So I think he's quite underrated by the general media as a whole. I think Ward-Prowse is a great player. I'm going to say 2-0 Southampton. I think Villa are going to start to fall off now a little bit. I thought they'll stay up, but I think they're just going to fall off a little bit. The next game, Newcastle-Everton, quite a tasty fixture. Everton obviously were in great form until their loss against Southampton last weekend. Newcastle have some great players. They did play well earlier on in the season, obviously losing to us. Sort of, losing that form a bit. Is Bruce the right man to carry that team forward? I'm not too sure myself. Keane, what are your thoughts on the game? Do you think Everton will continue their run here now, or?
I think they'll just about get through. Newcastle, I think the loss of Luca Digne is massive. He's a fantastic left back, and his suspension's after getting reduced now, so he's going to be playing against us next week, which is a shame. But Newcastle, like Steve Bruce, he's hot and cold. Sometimes he can set them up well and he can sneak a result. Other times they're a championship level team. So I'm going to go with a 3-1 Everton win. St. Maximin will score for Newcastle, and we'll see another James Rodriguez masterclass again the weekend.
Fair play. Tim, what are you thinking? Do you think James can pull out his old 2014 bag of tricks, or do you think Alan St. Maximin is going to run that defence right?
No, I'm same with Keane. Yeah, I'm going to go with James and the boys to roll over Newcastle. I just think the balance that team has in the midfield. They've had a slight dip in form, but the balance that Ancelotti's found in that team in the midfield is just frightening. So I see them doing a job.
Yeah, I mean, Everton have looked amazing this season. I mean, Decore, I've been talking about him for a while. I've really liked him. I was very happy with that signing for them. Alan as well, great signing, and James.
Calvert-Lewin scoring goals for fun.
Calvert-Lewin's turned into Lewandowski. Calvert-Lewandowski, that's what people have started calling him now. It's mental. Calvert-Lewin, average Premier League striker before this season, we would have all thought. And he's just been on form. He's been on red hot form. Now we're going to the biggest fixture of the weekend, the one that we all massively care about. It's United and Arsenal.
Come on,
it's the one we're all giving a fuck about. We're really caring about this one. It's what many would call as the battle of banter FCs. That's what it would be referred to as now, which is a sad demise from where the fixture has gone from the likes of Keane, Vieira, Adams, and Neville to what it is now. But look, it's still an important game. I hate Arsenal. I'd love to absolutely walk over him and make Nicolas Pepe look like the fraud he is. But and hopefully we're going to do it. It's not on box office, thankfully, so we don't have to pay an extra 15 quid to watch it. Tim, Do you think we're going to walk all over these boys, or is Mikel Arteta going to set up 11 men behind the ball and stop us scoring?
Well, I hope that's what happens. But we all know that United seem to battle consistency issues. So you would hope, based on the back of what happened with Leipzig at Old Trafford, that they just carry that momentum into this game and roll over Arsenal at Old Trafford again. So I'm going to be positive, though. I'm going to go. Oof. You know what? I think there's going to be goals in this game. I'm going to go 4-2 to United.
Ooh! Like the game where Johnny O'Shea scored at Highbury and we won 4-2. Hopefully it's a similar day to that. Now, Mr. Rainey, what are you thinking? You were just on with Claude, formerly of AFTV. What do you reckon? Do you think he's played some my games with you? Has he made you think United aren't going to do too well this weekend?
So Claude actually predicted a 0-0 draw between United and Arsenal, which I hope to God doesn't happen. I don't think I could take another 0-0 draw at Old Trafford. But William Bryant, who was on my channel, stole my thunder in terms of prediction. So I'm going to have to get this prediction in here before he gets it in the comments. I'm going to go with a 2-1 Manchester United win. Sir Marcus Rashford to get on the score sheet and to open up the scoring. Aubameyang will get the 1-1 equaliser. And again, as always,
here we go.
Water is wet. Bruno Fernandes scores a penalty to win the game, and it's awarded by VAR.
Yeah.
I mean that would be beautiful because they'd just go into meltdown on Twitter, wouldn't they? I think they'd probably lose a couple of limbs as well.
I'd be there with the salt. I'd be there with the salt, and I'd just be.
Keane, what would you do if you scored the penalty and then lifted up and you had the pray for Van Dijk underneath? Like, that would just be. It'll never happen, but it would be amazing. That would be like.
Oh my God!
What's happened? No, but what's happened to Van Dijk? Right, it's sad. Don't get me wrong. It's terrible. You never want to see a player get injured that long and that bad.
Yeah.
The man hasn't died. Like, do you know what? Like, pray for him. Like, he will recover. He may never come back to the same level as he was. That's horrible, but that is just life, man.
Yeah.
The level, the way Liverpool fans are going on, there was like a tribute. That performance was for you, our captain. It's like the bloke had died. Just pipe down, Scousers. It's all right. He will come back next year. He'll be all right. He's not dead. Like, relax, lads.
You won't be winners when he comes back.
It's not what Eddie Hearn said. Just relax.
Listen.
Just relax.
I've torn my ACL twice, and unfortunately, I didn't have millions of dollars of the best doctors in therapy to rehab it. So there's lots of people that tear their ACL and still kick on. He'll be fine.
And Tim, I heard there's a lot of EPO flying around Liverpool at the moment as well with all the asthmatics that are at the club. So that's, I suppose there's a quick recovery of that as well.
We could take the mick out the Scousers all night if we wanted to, but let's just leave it at that. In terms of my prediction, I think we're going to do Arsenal in. To be honest, I think after that the way that we performed against Leipzig, the way that Marcus Rashford, future Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, came on and scored a hat-trick.
Goals, come on.
That was unbelievable. So I think we're going to beat Arsenal 3-1 personally.
Ooh, there you go. You got goal. There's goals.
3-1. I think 3-1. I think 3-1. And I think Rashford's going to get a brace like he did when he played his Premier League debut against Arsenal as well. So
who's scoring the other goal, Owen?
Who's scoring the other goal? It's going to be a Bruno penalty. Of course it fucking is, mate. Of course it is. It's going to be a Bruno penalty. It always is. It always is, and it always will be.
But VAR, though. We got to have a VAR.
Well, look, it won't even be VAR because David Luiz, Sideshow Bob, is probably going to try and, I don't know, he'll probably get a sledgehammer out from behind the goal and try and knock his knees out of Egypt. So I think we're all going for a United win there. And whether it be convincingly or narrowly, I think we do think we have enough in the tank to take on Mikel Arteta's 11 men behind the ball tactics. Now moving on to the next game, which is also on their box office, Tottenham versus Brighton. Brighton have been looking a great side this season. When we went away there, we were very lucky to come away with 3 points, getting a penalty after the final whistle and everything. we won't divulge into that, as how brilliant as that was, even to win it. That's the way we did. But Tottenham as well, losing to Royal Antwerp last night. That's a massive loss. Richie Delap, formerly of Man United, bossing that defence for Antwerp. What a man. And Gareth Bale's not looking too great at the moment. And, Brighton are a good side, good defensively. Lewis Dunk looks quite good. Ben White going forward as well. Mopai, great striker. And it could cause a lot of problems for Tottenham. Mm-hmm. Tim, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm going to take a draw on this one. I think Brighton, you're right. Brighton they've looked energetic this season. They've pressed well. I'm going to go with a 1-1.
1-0. Yeah. Keane, what are your thoughts, mate?
I'm actually going to go with Tim as well. I'm going to go with 1-1 draw. I think Spurs, they did play a lot of their first team players in the second half of that game. Like Mourinho yesterday made 4 changes at half time, which was absolutely drastic. And again, like you've seen his social media posts yesterday, he doesn't seem to be too happy. So he's starting to show them true colours of Tottenham, which we all predicted. The Tottenham fans don't want us to say that, but it's very true. So the wheels are starting to turn now. The wheels are starting to come off. Tools are starting to be downed. I'm going to go 1-1 draw. Harry Kane. One thing I will say is Harry Kane's been fantastic this season. He'll get the goal for Spurs to go 1-0 up. But the absolute dickhead, Neil Maupay, is going to get it.
I love that. He was giving it the shithousery and then signed straight off. Personally, I'm going to go for a Brighton win here. I think. I've got a lot of Spurs mates. I said it to them when they signed. When Mourinho signed up for him, I said, look, you might win a trophy, you might, you might win a League Cup or something, and you might win a bit, and you'll forget the shit football that you're playing. And they've been playing good football recently, and he did play good football with us for a period. But for the first season, and then at the start of the second season, we were 4-0 FC for the start, and I said it to them. I said, mate. We've written the book about it. Chelsea fans have written the book about it as well. When it goes to shit, it goes to shit. Mm-hmm. It went to shit when we went away at the start of the season for pre-season, when he was going mental, and you can start to see it. Maybe we're wrong. Maybe I might be wrong. I might be prejudging it too quick. But personally, I think the cracks are starting to show for me, and I feel like this Mourinho team is going to fall apart. Not necessarily now. I think they might go on a bit of form, potentially, within the next few games. Maybe not against Brighton. I think they're going to lose, but they may hit a bit of form. They may win the League Cup or something. But I feel like within the next year or so, they are going to completely crack, and it is going to be a shit show, like it always is in Mourinho. It seems to be. Yeah. I can see Brighton winning this game 2-1. And that's just the way I say it. Mourinho just doesn't fill me with any confidence, just the way he's been.
It's coming. It's coming. He's gonna crack and lose the dressing room there like he does everywhere else, right?
Well, I mean, look what he's done with Dele Alli, man. He's hung him out to dry.
Yeah.
Because he said that in an interview, didn't he? He was like, people ask me why I don't start Dele. Mm-hmm. You can see from tonight why. Something along those lines. And you just think, as a manager, you should never do that to your players. You should always try and protect. He's done the same to Luke Shaw, done the same to Pogba,
did the same to Rashford,
to Martial as well. Like he does not back their players, and as a manager, you should try and protect your players as much as possible. So
biggest thing in management is man management, right? You got to know how what do your players respond to, right? Some players, you call them out publicly, they just go into a shell and they don't want to turn it around for you. You can get away with it with some players, but that's what the masterminds, the real, Ferguson, Wenger. They know how to get the best out of those players, and it just seems like Mourinho it's a scorched earth tactics with him. He just lights fired everything, and
it's all about him though. It's all about him with Mourinho. Like, I done this, I done that. Like, even when I'll take it back to the 3-0 loss against Spurs at Old Trafford 2 years ago. He's like, 3 titles to me. I've won more titles than the rest of the 19 managers in the league. Do you know what I mean? See stuff like that,
It's amazing how we waited for Wenger to leave until he could make that fucking comment as well. That was amazing. Yeah. Well, look, we don't have to worry about him. He made Old Trafford as poisonous as I'd ever seen it, and I've been going there since I was in my mum's belly. So but that's a true story. My dad told my mum he was taking her on a surprise trip on Valentine's Day while she was pregnant with me, and she thought she was going to the Lake District, and he pulled up to the Midland Hotel in Manchester.
Perfect.
And United versus Fulham, we played against Kevin Keegan's Fulham that day. Actually, little bit of history about me there, but enough about me. moving on to Monday's fixtures, because we like to have 2 games on a Monday night now for some reason. Fulham versus West Brom. I mean, I don't think anyone's particularly excited about this one. I don't think anyone's jumping out of their seats to go and watch this. But, Fulham have actually made some decent signings. Ademola Lookman, he scored a brilliant goal the other week against Sheffield United. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, I mean, everyone's called him a Rolls Royce of a midfielder. I mean, he seems to be like a Rolls Royce because he only gets pulled out of the garage every 3 months. Then you're looking at West Brom. They've signed Grady Diangana from West Ham. Great player, looks promising. And they look quite good. They've looked good against Chelsea. Callum Robinson doing quite well there as well. Again, on Sky Sports box office, who's paying £15 to watch Fulham West Brom? I don't know. They need to be checked and see what they're smoking, unless they support either of the clubs. Tim, what are you thinking about this game? Or do you even give a monkeys?
No, I mean it's like it's the bottom of the sort of teams that are going to be looks like they're going to be fighting for in a relegation battle, right? With West Brom, I think West Brom's in 17th and Fulham sitting in 20th. I was just looking up though; they've both conceded 14 goals this season already. So, and they've only Fulham scored 5 and West Brom has scored 6. So, what does that tell you? Maybe they're leaky defenses, but they're both having trouble scoring goals. I think it's going to be a dire affair, to be honest. And I'm probably going to go. I could see a 0-0 maybe in this one. 0-0 or both teams could, because their defenses are so leaky. Who knows? Could turn into a 2-2 or a 3-3. Fulham got into that. I think there was the 3-3 that Fulham had with Leeds, if I'm not mistaken.
No, they lost 4-3.
Or did they lose? They lost 4-3. That's it.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
So I'll say a 0-0, but I won't be surprised if two leaky teams start conceding in that game too.
Fair enough. Keane, what are you thinking, mate?
I'm gonna educate the masses here, and I'm gonna go with a 4-4.
There we go.
4-4.
You're gonna go. I'm gonna go 4-4.
15 quid, wasn't it?
It's possible.
4-4-4, and then do it.
Yeah.
Fantastic expert analysis then from Jamie Carragher and his lovely Scouse accent after the game.
I mean, well, if it's a 4-4, they'll be more open than a woman in Amsterdam on a Friday night. But we move on. That was. I personally think it will be a bit of a boring game, and I think it will finish 1-1. I think Lookman is a great signing from Fulham, and I think he'll get on the score sheet. Looking ahead then to the Monday night game, which isn't on the box office, which actually for me, I'm excited about watching it. I think it'll be a great game of football. Leeds versus Leicester. It seems like a bit. Well, the whole point of it is that they don't put it's games that you wouldn't normally have on the telly that are on box office. So Leeds versus Leicester, it seems like a great game of football. Vardy absolutely flying this year. Leeds under Bielsa look absolutely unbelievable. They're flying as a team. Patrick Bamford, I mean, everyone had him written off at the start of the season. He's doing unbelievable things this year, getting that hat-trick against Villa, competing for the Golden Boot possibly. Who'd have thought, he's definitely turning down that call up for Ireland now. Because he definitely thinks he's got a chance for Southgate, the way he's a soft touch of calling people up. Tim, I know you got to go soon, so I'll get your opinion on the game first.
I'm gonna go 2-2 in that one. Like you said, two good teams. Leeds 3 points off. They're sitting in 6. They've looked really well. Like you said, Bielsa's teams. One of the reasons why he wants Dan James, right? He's got a bunch of work. He's got obviously players that can score and have talent, but he's got players that just work their socks off, right?
I mean, if he wants Dan James, I'll drive him to Leeds myself.
But that's what Dan James is a Bielsa player. Like, he wants players that'll come in and just put in a shift for you, right? Win the ball back in good areas, defend in those wide positions like Dan James can. So, but I'm going to go 2-2. I'm going to take a 2-2 in that one. I think there's going to be goals, but I think it's going to be one of those really good. I think Leeds will turn over Leicester in some bad areas. But like you said, Leicester's Jamie Vardy's in form, so if he gets in behind or he's able to run at Leeds, then I think you'll see maybe a goal from him in this game for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I think Vardy's been unreal.
I do have to run on that note, boys. So I got to go pick up Keane and Vieira. So
he's got to go. Tim's got to go pick up the kids. That's why he's not been having a crafty couple today. So look, at least the kids weren't running around today. So look,
exactly. Yeah.
Every cloud has a silver lining, doesn't it? So great to chat to you, Tim.
All right, boys. I'll talk to you soon.
See you soon, my man.
Bye.
See you later, Tim.
See you, Keane.
Keno, what are your thoughts going into this fixture, Leeds Leicester? What are you thinking, my mate?
I think we're going to have an absolute goal fest. Two very attacking teams, two very good sides to watch. Again, they have a stupid game. I'm not going to call it a stupid game, but if a game on box office for $14.95, not many people are going to pay that. But then you have
that's not on box. Oh yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like this, if you had a choice out of two of them on box office, even though I wouldn't pay for any of them, I'm not a huge promoter of the box office model, but you paid for that one before that. So I think it's going to be 3-2 Leicester. I think there's goals for both teams in this game, but I think Leicester will get over the line. I think Vardy, will get a couple in this game, definitely. Yeah,
Vardy's looked unbelievable. They got a good result in Europe as well, away against AEK Athens.
They held on though. They held on though at the same time. Athens pushed them towards the end.
I didn't watch the game personally. I was watching the Arsenal Dundalk game, hoping that Dundalk could pull off some miracle. But I didn't watch the game. What was it like? Were they just sort of?
Yeah, like Leicester in the first half, they bossed Athens, and they done very well. Like I watched the highlights of both games, like I'm religiously watching football lately, and Leicester just dominated the first half, done very well, went 2 goals up. Athens scored a goal in the second half, and they pushed them. They're pushing Leicester, but Leicester did hold on defensively. I see Leicester winning though. I see Leicester winning. They're a good side. Brendan Rodgers seems to be turning the corner with them. Especially towards the end of last season, they were a team that they were flattening the deceive, and look, they were 14 points ahead of us, and we managed to catch up with them. So it'd be interesting to see where Leicester go this season, because they were a good team last season.
Yeah, no, I think I'm really interested in seeing where they go as well. I mean, they've got a lot of good players, man, and I feel like with Leicester, in terms of if you look at the Premier League, 10, 15 years ago, when you have the likes of players like Ndidi and even like Kane at Spurs, for this example, with players like that, they always moved on to Chelsea, to United. That was kind of the thing at the time. We signing Berbatov is an example of that. They always sort of moved on to the bigger. But since sort of the TV deals have come in, especially with Leicester being such a cash-rich club with their owners, they have no need to sell. So that team just seems to keep going stronger, and there is no necessity to sell unless it's a ridiculous price, like we signed Maguire for. Yeah, we were robbed. I don't think we were robbed personally. I think he's had a couple of bad games, and personally, I watched. Before lockdown happened, I was going to every game, home and away, and I seen a leader in Maguire that I hadn't seen in a United defence for a very long time. He looked like he was able to actually lead the back line, and I hadn't seen that with anyone else, and I think we have got a good player in there. He's had mistakes, and I think he's had a rough time of it. So I think he needs a bit of grace, to be honest. And I think it will go forward. But in terms of that Leeds Leicester game, I can actually see Leeds coming away with a victory. Really? And I really can. I think Bamford is just. I think his confidence is just that high, and I think it's just one of them. If you got a player playing for you that well, I think he just feels unstoppable. So I'm gonna say 2-1 Leeds. I can't see Leicester not scoring. I'm saying 2-1, but it could be 3-2 or 3-3 or something. I think it could be an excitingly mad game. But that's the fixtures for the weekend anyway, and it's coming to the end here now. But I'm gonna ask you one question. Your favourite moment that you've ever witnessed live at a football match?
United now, or just in general, the general consensus?
In general, could be Ireland, can be a fucking Dundalk game that you went to, could be Clonmel fucking Rovers that you see, something that, mad.
Do you know what? I think my favourite moment, right, and it's a funny story to be fair. I went to the EFL Cup final in 2017 under Jose Mourinho. It's funny enough that we were actually talking about him earlier. When Zlatan scored the winner in Wembley, there was this guy sitting in front of me, and he's about 6'5", 6'6", big guy, kind of muscular guy. And like when Zlatan, like when Herrera whipped up that ball, like everyone kind of jumped. And when Zlatan got the winner, a man jumped up in the air, and it was like a Fellaini style elbow that caught me right in the nose, right? And I blew back right into the chair. And your man was trying to pick me up, and he was like, "You okay? You okay?" And I was trying to jump back up, and I was there celebrating, my nose like bleeding, pumping with blood. And I was like, "You're okay, boy. You're okay." And I was just jumping up, celebrating the goal. But then obviously I cleaned myself up after the game and all that. And the stewards were asking me on the way out, like, "You okay?" And did someone hit you? And I was like, "No, Zlatan scored the winner." Like, do you know what I mean? It's, do you know what I mean? Like, came out of the game, and I remember I was going to clean myself up. I remember then coming back home on the plane. Back to Ireland that next morning. Not only did I have some
flight into Shannon.
Yeah, well, I flew to Dublin actually. I don't know why I didn't fly to Shannon. I flew to Dublin, and like for the 40-minute plane journey or whatever it is, I had some pain in my head. I was hungover, nose busted. Do you know what I mean? But you know what? It was all well worth it because it was a good session and we won the game. Like, do you know what I mean? But I suppose that's one of my favorite memories. But what I suppose. My favourite ever memory with a football game ever in life is definitely 2008. 2008 when we won the Champions League. I think that for me, and to see, like I've seen United win leagues before that, but to see us finally win the Champions League, like the Holy Grail, and the fact that my whole family are Liverpool fans, and I sat in a sitting room full of Liverpool fans watching United win a Champions League was just great to see. If they're watching this now, they'll probably slaughter me again, but.
Singing in your Liverpool slums and all that, yeah. Well, we won't. I won't sing it live because it has got far too many.
You told me about one of the last times you sang it there before.
Yeah, no, we won't. We won't be singing that now. Personally, for myself, you were talking about it. I was actually at that cup final game. That was immense. Great day. Like a day out of Wembley for me tops anything. I'd probably, obviously, this isn't a popular opinion with most fans. I would take winning a cup final over finishing fourth. I'd finish fifth and win a cup, personally, just because I'm a match going fan, and for me, having a day out at Wembley and winning a trophy is a lot more fucking exciting than playing against Leipzig or whatever, and in the Champions League, it doesn't go in. And winning that trophy is an amazing time, and that memory for me will always be etched into my mind. But I think my favourite memory was probably when the FA Cup under Van Gaal, when we won it. I was at the game and we hadn't won a trophy for 3 years, and I just remember going down 1-0, and I was absolutely gutted. I was 16, 17, on the verge of tears. I just thought it was all done and dusted. Rooney grabs the ball, has enough of it. Fellaini chests it down, Mata 1-1, and then Hesse Lingardinho hit what was the most. That goal for me will always be my favourite. It's probably my favourite because I'd always seen United winning everything my whole life, and it was the first. I'd gone 3 years without winning anything, and that goal was just was the moment. I was mid-teens, and it's just a massive moment for me in my mind, and I'll never forget it. I will never forget it. I was only 16, 17. I was absolutely langers. And there was a fella beside me, actually. This will tell you how beautiful moments can be in football. There was a lad in the delirium of celebration, had managed to literally cut his arm, like along his forearm, was spouting blood. And I was like, and so you go mental, you're kissing everyone, you're hugging everyone, you're going insane. And I just literally, calmed down a bit, and then a minute later, and I went, "Mate, you're bleeding." And literally, do you know what the geezer did? He just grabbed it, took the scarf off his neck, just wiped it. It was, "Oh yeah, big sound." Just like the level of adrenaline that was in that United end at that point, there was nothing that could stop it. It's so beautiful, and that's what I always say. There's no more beautiful moment than a last-minute winner. There is nothing compares
there's nothing
to
better
it.
than a last-minute winner. Absolutely.
You don't even know who the bloke is beside you, but you want to snog his face off. You don't care. You don't care who the man is. You're just like, "Mate, I love you. This is the most beautiful thing ever." That's why we love football.
I have a story about that day. So obviously, like I was watching that game here in Clonmel, that game against Crystal Palace when we won in the FA Cup final. And I was watching it in a pub in town, and like I was with Ryan Hayes, who's on our channel, on our channel, and we were coming back up. We said, look, we'll go back up from the pub, and we'll have a session in mind, and we'll go to the nightclub though after the kind of party to kind of celebrate the win. And on the way up the road, we found the trolley on the way up the road, and Ryan put me into the trolley, and I was singing United songs the whole way up the road. The guards pulled us in on the way up the road, and they said to us, like, look, where are you going? And I was like, I'm going home. Man United are after winning the FA Cup, and Jose Mourinho is after becoming our manager. No,
and he said, no foreign sports inside in Clonmel. It's only hurling. That's what he said, I do.
No, but he said, look, where'd you find that trolley? And I was like, this is my trolley. So I'm bringing it home from the shopping, like, do you know what I mean? But yeah, it was a great night, you know. And to be fair, when we won that, and then that day, I suppose, it left a sour taste in many Manchester United fans' mouths when Van Gaal was kind of sacked literally half an hour after the game. But then it was kind of a false dawn almost, because we were getting Jose Mourinho, and we all thought this man is going to bring us back. He's going to get a league title. And that game, after that game, it was kind of a false dawn after that, you know.
Oh, massively. And you know what really pissed me off? Like, I was at the game, and you know, it's our first trophy in 3 years, and you see them, like, the man that's done it for us, and like, yeah, we haven't had a successful league season, the football have been boring or whatever, but he literally got booed as he was lifting the FA Cup. Like, I mean, it fucked me off, really. It really pissed me off. And you know, I just thought it was the height of disrespect. We basically just announced Mourinho as our manager, you know, 30 minutes after we won the FA Cup. It was just
one thing I'd like to say to you about that one.
It just showed how the lack of class from the Glazers and Woodward. They just have no class in terms of running this club.
Do you know, like, in terms of Van Gaal getting sacked, right? I'd like to ask you this, right, before we finish. Think with the players that we got under Mourinho that time, like the Zlatans, the Pogbas, with Van Gaal's style, do you think we might have actually tried? Because I think we would have.
I personally don't think you sign those players if you don't have Mourinho.
You know, like a Pogba doesn't come, no?
You know, I think Pogba comes. I don't think Zlatan comes. Zlatan only came for Mourinho. Well, he didn't simply come for Mourinho, but I think Mourinho was a massive part.
Massive part of that.
And yeah. I don't think Van Gaal. I don't think Zlatan was a Van Gaal player, and I personally love Zlatan. He gave me a brilliant year of my life. Like,
really got me a broken nose, but
I mean, personally, like, I was at the Community Shield and the League Cup at Wembley. Like, it was brilliant. Like, he was brilliant for us. Like, even when we lost to City at home, that goal he scored, it was just pure class. He was just a class act. You've seen the first game he played at Old Trafford, 2 goals against Southampton. He was a brilliant act, and it's just a shame we didn't get him 2-3 years earlier, because he would have tore the Premiership a new arsehole, man. He was ready for it, man. He got injured, you know, end of March, start of April, and he had 27 goals. Mate, imagine if he played the full year. He'd have been on 40 plus.
He would have been on 40 plus. Yeah.
He'd have been up there with Law and Ronaldo's record, 110%. He was a top level man, and it's just a shame that we didn't get him earlier in his career. That's the only thing I can say. I'm getting calls here now to go to the pub, Keane, because there's a 10 o'clock curfew in this country.
We're lockdown over here.
You're completely locked down, you poor bastard. You're going to be drinking Clonmel champagne
This is the third Friday in a row where I've been on like a webcam on a show or on Zoom, just doing this. Do you know what I mean? Long live the lockdown.
Long live the long neck bottles of Clonmel champagne. Right, going to finish up there, because otherwise we'll just keep chatting shite about our good memories of football games forever and ever. Keane, my man. I think you're on now. Straight after you're mad busy today. Have you got anything else to plug apart from your own stuff? Far away there.
Yeah. So look, at 7 o'clock, I'm live with Callum McFadden from Football CFB, and I'm live also with Lee Judges from AFTV, and we're previewing the Manchester United versus Arsenal game on Keane on United at 7 o'clock, and then at 9 o'clock I'm over on Adam's channel, Mad Red United. And I was just literally on with Claude there at 5 o'clock on our London show on the weekly armchair kickoff. So literally, it's all about football this Friday, you know. So very excited for this weekend.
all about football. Please do check it out, guys. It is brilliant. I'm on it myself, occasionally on the weekly Armchair Kickoff podcast. Thank you very much for tuning in, guys. It's been a great pleasure talking to yourselves. And please do like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to me, and it makes it a bit worthwhile for myself and Keane, and the likes of other creators as well. So please like it, please share it, please subscribe to it. Keep watching. Thank you very much, guys. Have a crafty couple and enjoy yourself this weekend.